Blackwood Pharmaceutical broadcasted an advertisement showing a good facility in aim of creating medicines and vaccines for the benefit of humanity. After watching the ads, a girl named Claire intended to become a volunteer with fantastic pay at that facility. When Claire was just lying down on the bed, Allison, her cool roommate, came. But Claire was tired, so she asked chatty Allison to shut up. Claire was about to sleep, but she heard an announcement asking all the volunteers to gather in the lab. However, all the participants felt annoyed because they had difficulty getting a signal in that place. Turns out this was to prevent the participants from contacting others or updating on social media, which could leak the company's secrets. Not long afterward, Dr. Burke arrived and she would test the participants. Apparently, they would be an experimental subject for testing a new drug created by Blackwood Pharmaceutical. But of course, they would get fantastic pay. In this experiment, Dr. Burke started with a dose of 25 to 85 milligrams. A few hours later, Claire started to get checked, and the nurse saw the progress of the drug she was taking. After that, Claire went to sleep because she was really tired, but again, Allison came and talked too much, making Claire unable to sleep. Claire felt nauseous and went to the toilet, but when she came out of the toilet, she realized that she wasn't the only one who experienced this. A participant named Amir also felt the same thing. That evening, Claire woke up. Because she couldn't sleep, she went outside for a walk, but she wondered because people had gone somewhere. But Claire finally found the others, then she said that she was having difficulty sleeping. Then a man named Ray said that everyone here experienced the same thing. Then they suspected that the medicine they were taking was a drowsiness medication which is still being developed by the company. Shortly after checking the participants, Dr. Burke looked panicked, consulting with her boss by phone regarding the medication the participants were taking. She also said that the medication had the side effect of chronic brain inflammation. However, Dr. Burke was asked to focus on doing her job. She was even ordered to increase the dose. The next day, Dr. Burke informed the participants that the testing method would be changed. This time, they were asked to stay awake as long as possible, and they were not allowed to sleep. Hearing this, everyone was surprised, especially because the drug dose increased so quickly. In the middle of the night, a long-haired participant, Paul, felt that this experiment was odd because it was against human nature. And the next day, they were shocked when the doctor again increased the drug dose 3 times. Ray also said that all this didn't make sense and could endanger his body. In the midst of the chaos, Dr. Burke came and said that anyone who has objections can go home, but they won't get paid a penny. But for those who were able to take part in the experiment until the end, Blackwood Pharmaceutical would increase the pay $500 million for each person. Hearing the offer, everyone agreed to do it. However, Claire and Amir felt there was something strange about this experiment. Shortly, the participants looked happy and partying because soon they would become rich. In that party, Allison approached Claire, who was brooding in the corner. Allison asked Claire to dance rather than thinking about her debts because soon they would get a lot of money. But while she was dancing, Claire suddenly felt very sleepy, and so did the others. Moments later, Dr. Burke started to panic when she saw that all the participants felt sleepy at the same time. Because of worry, Dr. Burke advised the superiors to stop this test and immediately evacuate the participants. However, the supervisors asked her to continue the experiment to see what would happen next. At that time, Amir, who was curious, was eavesdropping on Dr. Burke's conversation, and when Burke left, Amir sneaked up, trying to find out what really happened. Amir was in serious shock when he found out that participants suffered from chronic brain hemorrhage. Amir then intended to copy the data to be used as evidence. Meanwhile, Claire was suspicious to see Allison sitting alone. How shocked Dr. Burke was when she saw Allison die. Because of this, all participants panicked when the security system detected a threat. When Dr. Burke was about to go out, she died stabbed with a padlock. Now, everyone was increasingly panicked because they had to be locked down for the next 24 hours. Amir suddenly came, warning his friends to never sleep, because if they sleep, they would definitely die. When everyone was confused, Amir explained that he had sneaked into the doctor's room and discovered the fact that they all had brain hemorrhages from the side effects of the medicine they were taking. They could prevent this, but they had to stay awake until they were able to get out of the place and get medical treatment. Amir then distributed several packs of inhalation to keep them stay awake, but it had to be used only in critical moments. Amir also warned them to not drink coffee because it would trigger more severe brain damage. A few hours later, Paul recorded himself saying that everyone was trying not to sleep. He felt that his condition was very bad after being awake for 100 hours. But now they only needed to wait another 20 hours to get out of this place. On the other hand, Amir was seen doing an examination to check Claire's brain waves. Apparently, Amir is a medical student, but he was expelled because he couldn't pay the tuition fees. After looking at Claire's brain's graph, Amir tried to cover it up and asked her to wait with the others. At the hall, Ray had run out of doping and begged for it from his friends, but they didn't want to share it with Ray. After all, they all had the same share. When Ray brought up the name of God, a woman named Vanessa said that if she didn't believe it at all, she tried to calm Ray down, saying if they died, everything was over, and there is no such thing as the angel of death. Meanwhile, Amir suddenly panicked when he started experiencing hallucinations, and Claire was also trying to hold back her sleepiness. Luckily, a participant named Marcus immediately woke Claire up. After that, Claire decided to do something in Dr. Burke's room. She was shocked when finding out that she was actually the main candidate in this experiment. On the other hand, Marcus was in the toilet and was surprised when his hearing was lagging. Turns out, Marcus was dying because he fell asleep on the bathroom floor. Claire was still in a great shock, then she wanted to do something in the kitchen. After that, Claire, who was bored of waiting, invited everyone to do something. While showing the map of this place, Claire invited everyone to break down the wall using an axe she found, because she still remembered that the wall led to the elevator which could take them out of this place. They thought it would be successful, so they immediately got ready. Getting tired of breaking the wall, Paul told them that the wall already had holes, but they started to despair when the wall was covered with steel. In the midst of despair, Claire met Amir, who was pensive. While handing her a letter, Amir said that he was the one who caused this chaos. The lockdown system was caused by him, who was determined to steal the company data, but everything had already happened. Claire then asked Amir to find a way to safely eliminate drowsiness. Amir was confused, but he suddenly remembered his course on making medicine for headaches. He tried to make medicine using the ingredients available in this place. Hearing this, Claire immediately went to tell the others, but suddenly the lights went out, causing their sleepy mood and hallucinations to get worse. Luckily, the lights came back on and Claire could wake Paul, who had almost fallen asleep. When Amir came, he was surprised because the people seemed to be suspicious of him. Apparently, they suspected Amir as the imposter. After tying up Amir, Ray intended to interrogate him because for a participant, Amir knows too much about this facility. However, Claire tried to defend him, saying that currently, Amir is making medicine to stop their brain inflammation. In fact, she was willing to be a subject for the medicine. After hearing Claire's words, they then gave Amir a chance. When the others made the medicine according to Amir's directions, Vanessa was planning something for Amir. She would inject a doping drug that had previously been banned by Amir, and if the drug works, it means Amir is an imposter who wants them all to die. Meanwhile, Paul said that the drug was ready to be used, so Claire immediately volunteered herself in this test. On the other hand, Ray asked Vanessa to immediately take action, but then Vanessa was surprised when she saw herself. It's too late for Vanessa. She was in a deep shock when she died and met the angel of death. Meanwhile, Amir, who was in despair, laughs with satisfaction when the only medicine he made was wasted. In the midst of the chaotic situation, Claire intended to check the countdown time. Because she was so sleepy, she couldn't see the time clearly. Then suddenly, Claire couldn't hold her sleepiness. She was trying to inhale the doping, but ended up falling. Luckily, Claire, who had been unconscious, managed to inhale the doping and awake. However, she felt something strange, then checked the wall painting, realizing that behind this painting there was a secret room. Claire immediately told Paul about what she had found. Hearing this, Paul asked Claire to show him. Apparently, this place was an autopsy room which had not been used for a long time. Instantly, they became more hopeful that they would survive when they found an elevator which allegedly led out of this place. On the other hand, Ray felt sorry for Vanessa, who died without taking faith. But Ray was shocked when he found a letter about Amir's apology because he was the one who caused them to be trapped into a lockdown. Meanwhile, Amir was hallucinating again as if he was visited by Dr. Burke, who told him to become a psychopath and kill everyone. Amir panicked when he saw that Ray was going to finish him off. Hearing Amir scream, Claire and Paul rushed to check on him. They were in a serious shock when they saw Amir turned into a psychopath. At that moment, Amir again experienced hallucinations of seeing Dr. Burke. Paul panicked and decided to run away alone. Luckily, Claire could fight back and rushed to look for a hiding place. Meanwhile, Paul decided to leave this place alone. When entering the elevator, Paul recorded himself saying that he was the only survivor. It was ridiculous because apparently, it was not an elevator but a cremation oven. As a result, Paul died burned in the cremation oven. With just 1 minute left of the lockdown, Claire and Amir couldn't help but feel sleepy. Thankfully, the lockdown time has ended. Seeing the door open, Amir tried to leave. Unfortunately, when Amir was about to go out, he was finished off by the team sent by Blackwood. Claire was trying to leave without being noticed. She thought it would be hard to escape safely, so she had the idea to pretend to be a corpse. In pain, Claire was still trying to survive, and suddenly she started to hallucinate. After fighting her fear, Claire intended to check outside. The car had an accident, and now with her remaining energy, Claire was trying to find help. Long story short, a few months later, a news report reported an incident that occurred at the Blackwood facility. However, the crazy rich succeeded in diverting the issue, reporting that the incident in the testing room was the fault of Dr. Burke, who was secretly carrying out illegal experiments. Because of that incident, only one person survived, but she was still in a coma. But fortunately, Claire, who had a strong brain, managed to survive the side effects of the drug.